It's interesting. He is. I want to play this clip from Megyn Kelly's interview with you. This is just absolutely wild. Coming from pains me to say it, our leaders. Okay, here we go.
It's say in a court of law, you show it. We're going to show a bit of it here. Take a look at spot 19.
And that's the director. How do you pronounce the director's name? Dr. J.C.
Shea. Yep.
Shea. Okay, J.C. Shea. I'm always afraid to say his name because of the way it's spelled. Okay, Dr. J.C. Shea.
Sevan is in the courtroom, but America's on trial.
Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice.
Thank you, George Floyd. Let's hear a little bit.
Even Dr. King's assassination did not have the worldwide impact that George Floyd's death did.
I know it's a lot. Trust me. Just going through all those clips. I always say the documentary could have been about 9 hours because to me it's unbelievable what a lot of these leaders had to say in the days that followed.
I want to be super open-minded. Let's say we went to Chauvin's. Is it Chauvin? How do you pronounce Derek's?
Chauvin. Yep.
Chauvin. Let's say we went to Chauvin's house and he had hoods and swastika jackets and shit like that. And he woke up that morning being like, "Hey, I'm going to kill a guy. I'm going to kill a black man today." Let's just say that was the case. How would you still ever prop George Floyd up as a hero? He was arrested for counterfeiting. He put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach in a home invasion while other men robbed her house. It seems so obvious to me. Let's say I'm a black social justice warrior. Wouldn't you be so pissed that these white leaders are trying to replace our beloved Dr. King with George Floyd? Like, why would you want your kids to look up to George Floyd in any way?
Yeah, it's really hard for me still to even wrap my head around because, you even watch the local news here in Minneapolis. They celebrate when George Floyd has a birthday. You would think, and he really has no ties to Minnesota. He'd only been here a few years and was in trouble while he was in Minnesota. That's another lie that was peddled. He was arrested in 2019, May of 2019, so almost exactly a year before all of this. And if you play the body camera footage from that arrest, next to the body camera footage from 2020, they are eerily exactly the same. He's saying the exact same things. He's the subject of an undercover drug investigation in 2019 that, again, the Minneapolis police chief lied about. The mayor lied about, saying that they've never had anything to do with him. I've talked to several police officers who had pulled him over in years past and whatnot. George Floyd was obviously someone who struggled with substance abuse. This is no secret. He spent most of his adult life in and out of prison. And I've been able to visit Texas in the wake of the documentary. That's actually where he's from. And they don't treat George Floyd the way that people here in Minnesota do. So it really is crazy to me. And I will say that many people now are just, perhaps quiet on the issue also after learning what they learned. But if you did bring up his criminal history, my husband did as the union president, just to say, hey, there's more to this story. There's more to this guy's background. He was quickly called, and this was just in a few sentences of a press release. Then you're a racist, obviously. You're called all of the things, but that's also part of the game plan here to silence people. And I would say in this situation, that certainly worked. Minnesotans, I am one, so I can say this, but we are a little bit more mild-mannered and we wait for somebody else to speak up. I don't know if this would have gone the same way if this would have happened perhaps on the East or West Coast, just with more domineering personalities. But I do feel that we had the perfect people in the perfect positions for this to play out. We have kind of plants picked. Our leaders here, they're coming from other states. Millions of dollars, is poured in for the DFL party, the Democratic Party in Minnesota. And they went ahead, and this is a presidential election year. And again, I think the evidence shows that George Floyd was really used more than anything else.
His legacy lives on Pornhub and on it's true. It was like as soon as I heard that, it was one of the first things I did. Guilty as charged. I went straight to Pornhub and typed in George Floyd, and there he is, making his first feature film debut, and then this film, and then all the other media
and he was
that's
fired.
out there.
He was fired from jobs here. This is all things that, again, the corporate media in town would never even touch. He was, a so-called, security guard at a rehab center, but was fired after, bringing basically a patient home with him. And the list goes on and on of things.
Was it a female patient, Liz?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did he have sex with her?
From what we've been told.
So he's a predator and opportunist is the profile.
Well, and I think that, again, even if you look at the 2019 arrest, he obviously had many interactions. This was very rehearsed with what he was doing with law enforcement. Instead, I'm talking about George Floyd being used, this whole "I can't breathe" mantra. He's saying this before Derek Chauvin even arrives on scene. He's talking about his health in this 2019 arrest in a very similar way. It was, this was sort of part of his MO about his mom recently passing away. This wasn't the first time, that the cops responded.